Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Final Fantasy II. This is Vortex259. Thank you for watching another video in this series today. Well, in our previous episode we found that the Emperor of Palamecia attacked the Kingdom of Fynn, and 4 young people by the names of Firion, Maria, Guy, and Leon escaped from the city, only to be waylaid by 4 Black Knights in a forest, and those 4 Black Knights did some pretty severe damage. Fortunately, Princess Hilda and her faithful white wizard Minwu found us and brought us back to the village of Altair, where we had our wounds recovered. But when we woke up, we found that Maria's brother Leon went missing. So we came in here to the rebel war room and spoke with Hilda, asked to join the rebel army, and she said no. I guess she thinks we're still too weak. But at the end of the previous video, we did learn a new key term. The key terms menu is a pretty innovative new system that was introduced in Final Fantasy II, and really about the only Final Fantasy that used this system. But anyhow, anytime we learn key terms, we can use it to gain information or advance the storyline. And the key term we learned from Hilda was Wild Rose, which is the insignia of the Kingdom of Fynn. The rebels also use it as their password, so let's go ahead and use the password on Hilda there, see if we can get some additional information from her. So we'll just press ask here, and we'll ask Wild Rose. And she tells us the Wild Rose is the insignia of the Kingdom of Fynn. It represents our hope for a future that flourishes in both strength and beauty. But what will become of Fynn now? I've heard that the Empire's captives have been taken there and suffer even as we speak. Maria, your brother Leon is missing, is he not? It's possible that he's being held in Fynn as well. But Fynn is far too dangerous now. The Emperor's beasts still stalk the streets. Gaining entrance to the city will not be easy. The man at my right is Minwu, the White Wizard who tended your wounds. Speak with him before you leave. He may be of some assistance. Well, there's a clue there. Maybe Maria's brother Leon is being held captive in Fynn. Well, let's talk to Minwu here, see if we can get a little more information. I see your destiny clearly. The future it holds seems closely entwined with my own. You will begin by journeying to Fynn. That is the first step toward realizing your fate. And if we ask him about the Wild Rose, you've wasted no time using the password. Heed well the information it will bring you. You can learn much of value by listening. I offer you one more bit of advice before you depart for Fynn. Those who have fallen in battle can be revived at a sanctuary. Should one of you fall before you reach Fynn, go without hesitation to the nearest sanctuary. Yeah, each town is going to have a sanctuary where you can revive fallen characters, and I'll show you where the one is located here in Altair here in just a bit. Let's go ahead and speak to this soldier here. And he says that the port of Paloom lies not far east of here, but a lake separates us, so you won't be able to reach the town without a canoe. Well, I guess that's a hint that we'll be getting a canoe in the near future to reach the town of Paloom to the east. Let's talk to this old man. Heading to Fynn, are we? It's not my place to tell you what to do, but I'd reconsider if I were you. It's a dangerous place to be, you see. The city is crawling with the Empire's monsters. To the north lies a small village called Gatria. Judging by the look of you, you'd be lucky to make it that far. Well, thanks for the vote of confidence. Before you go anywhere, I suggest you visit the room with the sigil that saved your life. There you'll find people who can teach you a thing or two about adventuring. I think you're going to need all the advice they can spare. Yeah, I guess he thinks we're just a couple of young whippersnappers, wet behind the ears. And I guess we still are at the beginning of the game here. Yeah, this is the Rebel Army's war room. Well, if we go to the west here, this is the room where Firion woke up by himself. But now, strangely, there's a bunch of wise men in here, and just like at the beginning of every Final Fantasy game, or most Final Fantasy games anyway, you can find a room with people who will give you some beginning basic information, and that's what these old men will do. They'll just give you the basics on game mechanics and battles and so forth. So If you're pretty new to a Final Fantasy game or this Final Fantasy game, you may want to speak with these old men and get some information from them. Alright, well, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. I'm going to use the B button dash. That's a nice feature in the Dawn of Souls version of Final Fantasy II. Can run by pressing B. Well, let's go in this room here. This is the King's bedchamber. His Majesty was sorely wounded in the flight from Fynn. Oh no. He's been resting here for some time now. Well, I wonder what happened to His Majesty. Ouch. An arrow struck him in the back during the battle. Man, leaving him in this state. That's not good. Perhaps I really have grown old. My daughter Hilda now serves as regent. You should speak with her. Well, yes, we've already spoken with her, and she's doing a fine job while you recover there, Your Majesty. Alright, well, the room down to the south is Hilda's room. Not much we can do there now, so let's just kind of go back down through this part of the room. Speak to this soldier. You're in the rebel hideout in the town of Altair. And apparently Gordon, the Prince of Kashuan, is hiding out here in Altair. I don't know what happened, but something has made him lose faith in himself. Well, that's not good. Well, let's go up here and get the very first treasure chest of the game. And we're going to pick up a potion from this chest. Very nice. That's just going to restore a small amount of HP. Always good to have one of those handy in the inventory. And speaking to this lady, Princess Hilda fled here when Fynn was sacked. She's doing a remarkable job of leading the rebel army while His Majesty recovers. Yes, indeed she is. Alright, well, we'll exit the rebel base here and go into the town of Altair and look around a little bit. Let's speak to this guy running around really fast. I'm Paul, greatest thief in all the world. Well, he certainly isn't lacking in self-confidence, is he? They've yet to invent the loot. I can't burgle or steal. The Imperial coffers have kept my purse fat with gil lately. Well, can you spare a little bit to some burgeoning young warriors who need some equipment and magic? Let's ask him the password Wild Rose. I never steal from the rebels, you can be sure of that. My home was in Fynn, too. I can't even go home now that the Empire has occupied the city. Okay, well, I guess he only steals from the Empire. This is the town of Altair. The Imperial forces haven't been deployed this far out yet. I suppose it's only a matter of time, though. Well, there's the inn, and I'll discuss how the inn works a little bit later. This is an item shop we can visit, and there's actually 3 merchants here. And you can purchase the same items in each town. Pretty much the same merchant will sell the same thing. Potions, high potions, eye drops, antidotes. And you can also buy Cross, removes curse, Mallet will cure amnesia, Maiden's Kiss will cure toad, the Gold Needle will cure stone. And lastly, you can buy some more expensive items. Phoenix Downs will recover you from KO. Ether restores a small amount of MP. We'll be getting some cottages later, and wow, look at that. Elixirs, 50,000 apiece. So that's the item shop. Let's go back outside and talk to this young man. Oh, this is Gordon, the Prince of Kashuan. Or at least he was once the Prince of Kashuan. Now I'm nothing but a coward. When my brother Scott fell in battle, I abandoned my kingdom and fled here. Oh, that's not good. We'll ask him the Wild Rose password. So, you've asked to take up arms in the struggle? I'm so afraid Hilda will turn me away that I haven't even asked her. I've been stalling here. I'm just a spineless coward. Go ahead, laugh. I deserve it. Well, he certainly has 0 self-confidence. He could use some of Paul's self-confidence, couldn't he? Alright, well, continuing to explore here. Paul's a skilled thief, but don't worry, you can trust him. He only steals from the Imperials. And in this building here, this is the sanctuary Minwu was telling us about. If one of our characters falls in battle, we can just visit this building here. And let's see, looks like there's a magic shop and a weapon shop. Let's go into the magic shop here. See what kind of magics are for sale. And let's see, we can buy a Fire Tome, a Thunder Tome, a Blizzard Tome, and a Cure Tome. Starting off the game with 400 gil, I'm going to go ahead and buy one Cure Tome. And I'm going to go ahead and give that to Maria, so she's learned the Cure spell. Now the way the magic works is the more you use it in battle, the higher it will level up. So basically right now it's just level 1, but eventually we use it enough it will become level 2 and so on, and it will become more potent. And I'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later as we get more into battles. But I'm afraid that's all the time we're going to have for this episode. Next time we'll continue exploring Altair a little bit more, and we'll try out our first few battles and maybe go to the next village not too far from here. So thank you for watching today's episode. This has been Vortex 259. We'll see you next time.